The clash between Barcelona and Real Madrid, known as El Clásico, is not only the biggest and most emblematic derby in world football. For many, it is the most important game in the sport on a global scale. This legendary duel between two of the most renowned clubs on the planet draws the attention of fans from all corners. And some former stars gave their predictions for this great game. So stay until the end of the video to check it out. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe here to the channel so you don't miss any detail of this classic that will stop the football world. El Clásico transcends the simple clash between the two biggest teams in Spain. It is a confrontation rooted in the country's historical past, with Real Madrid traditionally associated with the Spanish monarchy, nationalism, and the regime of General Franco. Barcelona's playing style, known as tiki-taka, along with its famous youth academy, La Masia, embodies the essence of Catalan culture. On the other hand, Real Madrid is often seen as a mirror of the power of the Spanish state, reflected in its policy of major investments in the transfer market, always seeking to bring the best players to the club. Unforgettable moments have marked the history of El Clásico, and rarely have players dared to cross the line separating these two clubs. One of the most notorious cases was that of Luis Figo, who in 2000 made the controversial transfer from Barcelona to Real Madrid. His decision sparked a wave of outrage among Catalan fans, who never forgot the betrayal. When Figo returned to Camp Nou the following year, he was met with a hostile and resentment-filled atmosphere. Banners labeled him as Judas and traitor, while the crowd threw various objects at him, including coins, bottles, and most infamously, a pig's head. This episode became a symbol of the fervor and emotional intensity that accompany each edition of El Clásico. Thus, the rivalry between Barcelona and Real Madrid is not limited to a simple football match. It is an event full of symbolism, where every pass, every goal, and every decision is analyzed through the lens of history and cultural rivalries. The Copa del Rey will feature one of the biggest classics in the world in its final. This Saturday, Barcelona and Real Madrid will compete for the tournament's grand prize. Playing in Seville, on neutral ground, the teams will pit two of the most star-studded squads in Europe against each other. Top of La Liga and one of the best-performing teams in the current UEFA Champions League edition, Barcelona will play the first of its three finals. Against Real Madrid, Barca wants to win the Copa del Rey trophy to start crowning an incredible season. With the likely absence of striker Lewandowski, who suffered a diagnosed muscle injury, the Catalans are placing all their bets on Rafinha and Lamine Yamal, standouts of the team this season. In place of the Pole, Ferran Torres, one of the tournament's top scorers with 5 goals, is expected to play. If they win the competition, Barcelona will raise their second trophy in the Hansi Flick era. The first, won in January this year, was the Spanish Super Cup, against the same Real Madrid. After playing the final, the squad already knows it will face a tough sequence. On the 30th, the challenge is against Inter Milan in the UEFA Champions League semi-final. Playing at home, Barca knows that gaining an advantage in the matchup could be worth a lot. Then, the team returns to play the final rounds of La Liga, where they lead with a 4-point advantage. By the end of the season, if they manage to maintain their good form, Barcelona could have won, in addition to the Super Cup, 3 more titles: Copa del Rey, La Liga, and UEFA Champions League. At Real Madrid, the atmosphere is not the best. The elimination to Arsenal in the UEFA Champions League shook the team, which began focusing its efforts on a remontada in La Liga. There have been 4 wins in the last 5 matches, keeping Los Merengues close behind Barcelona. In the last of them, against Getafe away, Arda Güler was the man of the match. On the other hand, coach Carlo Ancelotti criticized the clear chances missed by Endrick, who made his debut as a starter in a La Liga match. The Italian coach even said that theater club in football doesn't exist, referring to the Brazilian's attempt at a chip shot in a scoring opportunity. With narrow victories in recent games, having won the last 3 by 1-0, Real Madrid remains alive in the competitions it is competing in, but knows that the rival's moment is better. For the big final, the team counts on its tradition in knockout tournaments and on the inspiration of its biggest stars, such as Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, and Mbappé, to take the trophy home. A former Barcelona player, Rivaldo spoke with Betfair's communications team about the Copa del Rey final. The world champion with the Brazilian national team is an ambassador for the company alongside Ronaldo Fenomeno. In the Barça versus Real Madrid game, the champion believes that in theory, the Culés would be the favorites, but that it is not possible to be certain because it is an El Clásico with chances for both sides. Theoretically, Barcelona is the favorite. But we know that in football, when it comes to Barcelona and Real Madrid playing a final, we don't see a favorite, said Rivaldo during the chat. We see a good moment for Barcelona, who are also doing well in the championship and in the Champions League, but it's another competition, it's a decision, added the 1999 World Player of the Year. Even though there is no real favorite, according to Rivaldo's view, the 2002 world champion with Brazil believes that winning the title would be a salvation for Carlo Ancelotti's team. Real Madrid will try everything to try to save the season by becoming champion over a great rival who is doing well. Since it is a big game and full of rivalry, I don't see a favorite, but rather an equal match, he concluded. Another former star who spoke about the expectation for this historic clash was Thierry Henry. He commented, "Look, when it comes to a final like the Copa del Rey, everything changes. Forget what came before. Form, statistics, even the favorites. A final is about mentality. It's about who shows up in the big moments. I've been in decisive matches, and I know that sometimes it's not the best team that wins, but the one most mentally prepared. It will be a tactical battle, but also an emotional one. I'm particularly curious to see how the young players react. A final is the perfect stage for a player to become a hero. And of course, if there's someone like Yamal, Nico Williams, or even someone more experienced like Rafinha, they can decide everything with a single play. For me, the most important thing is to see quality football. Tactical respect, yes, but also courage with the ball. And may the boldest win." This season, Barcelona won both previous matches against Real Madrid, 5-2 in the Spanish Super Cup final and 4-0 in a La Liga match. With both teams motivated and pursuing different goals, the final promises to be an exciting and unpredictable spectacle. However, if we consider the recent record, there is no doubt that the favoritism lies entirely with Barcelona, who are riding high after securing their place in the Champions League semi-finals. Now I want to know your opinion. Do you believe Barca will extend Real Madrid's losing streak and take this cup? Leave your comment here. If you liked the video, like and share it. A big hug and see you in the next video.